All right, I just finished watching Wyatt Rice's amazing DVD on playing bluegrass rhythm guitar, advanced bluegrass rhythm guitar, and everything in it is really, really hard for me. And but I wanted to show you how to get great tone out of a guitar, and it's a lot of people have the completely wrong idea about how to get great tone out of a guitar, and I want to show you my opinion about this for what it's worth. So. The first thing in getting great tone out of a guitar is just really simply not to play so blasted loud. If you play loud, you think that playing louder will give you a bigger sound, but it doesn't. Because when the louder you play, the more the strings start to crack. You hear that rattle against the frets, which stops the vibration anyway. The actual way to play with great tone, and you hear these guys like, oh my gosh, Kenny Smith and Tony Rice and Wyatt Rice and Dan Tyminski and Ron Block get these super fat sounds. They're not playing that hard. And when you see those guys up close, and I've been lucky to see a couple of professional players, where, in the same room and stuff, and it always humbles me how quiet they play. So I'm playing really quiet here. You can hear I'm talking in a regular voice right over that. The other thing is if you play too loud, you're going to cover up the singer. And you want that big fat sound, you play nice and quiet and get up on that microphone. It sounds huge. What I do at a sound check, I don't play loud. I want the guy to turn me up. I hope none of the sound people that I've worked for are watching this, but I play really quiet and keep asking them to turn me up. And that way, when I know I get into the show, it'll be plenty loud. That's just a little aside. So a lot of times the guys that you hear play in a jam session, their tone sounds real huge. On recording, their tone doesn't sound as good. It sounds more broad open and cracky. And the guys that play super quiet, the microphone just picks up all that nuance. Of course, you have to play a certain volume to be heard, in context with the group that you're playing in. You have to be loud enough to be heard. But a lot of people think, oh man, you got to play loud. Okay, next section of this is, what does the guitar do? This is a nice Martin copy guitar, Indian rosewood, all solid woods. What does a solid wood guitar do for you? A solid wood guitar does one thing, and it's push air. You can have a really acceptable sound out of a laminate guitar with a solid top, or even a whole laminate guitar. I've heard really beautiful sounding guitars, but they won't push air. And if you're playing bluegrass guitar, you actually have to move air. So that's why everybody wants a solid guitar, whether they know it or not. The back of a laminate guitar will not vibrate, and this thing is supposed to be an air pump, and it's supposed to push air. It has a lot of body in it. And if I had a Yamaha guitar, I could probably find a Yamaha guitar that has a better tone than this, but it's not going to push air. So you need that to push the bluegrass band. Okay, the other thing is, people make a really big deal about picks, if I can find them. Okay, that's what I'm using. It's a Dunlop Ultex 1 mil. Okay, I've got a collection of picks here. Let's just talk about tone here. First thing you do when you take your pick, I can take the same pick and make it really suck by just hitting it flat against the strings. As soon as I turn it about a 15-degree angle, that was shown to me by Mr. Wayne Benson of Third Time Out when I harangued him after a show one time when I was 15 years old. He said, okay kid, this is what you need. Turn your pick about that angle, all of a sudden it sweetens up. So here's flat against the strings. We've all heard this ticky-tack sound. I hate that sound. So you turn it at an angle. Now all of a sudden it sounds sweet. Okay, the trend these days is to use a really thick pick. It has not always been the case. There's been plenty of beautiful bluegrass recorded with a thinner pick. Here's a super thick wagon. It's probably about 1.5 mils. These kind of have a bevel built into them, so you don't have to tilt your thumb quite as much. I've got the triple alloy titanium blue chip pick here. It's kind of a thin one. Most people won't use something like that now because everybody wants a super thick one. It's got a real slick sound. Here's something most bluegrassers would never be caught dead with. It's a girl pick. What's that, 0.5 mil? It's like a piece of paper. But you know what? If you turn it at the right angle, it can sound just as sweet. You know, that's a little tiny pick. Now if I'm hitting that flat against the thing, it sounds like a piece of paper. Just a little angle change, it's actually a usable pick. Don't tell anybody I did that. Generally, the thicker pick you use, the more overtones you're going to have. I'm sorry, the more fundamental you're going to have, the more roundness of a sound. You know, that's a nice thick sound. That's a medium pick. So it's all in the technique. A lot of people think, hey, you got to have this certain guitar, and you got to have this certain pick. And a lot of times it's something as simple as this. Hey, turn your pick like that instead of like that. Sounds good. Listen to where you're playing. Are you playing back here by the bridge? It's going to sound different no matter where you're at. So there's your thing. There's your lesson. Play quieter on the rhythm. Sounds huge. The cross-picking stuff makes it sound bigger too, by the way. If you're just wailing away at it, it's kind of a long lesson. Sorry. Hey. Not very well planned out. Random neural firings here. That sucks. That sucks less. See, it's just better. Nice and quiet. You can hear the singer. If you want to get loud, you can get loud. To quote Nigel Tufnell, if you're sitting there at 10, you're 10 on your amp, you're 10 on your guitar, where do you go? Well, we have one more. We have 11. Well, Nigel also could have, you know, just played quieter. You're banging away like this. Well, you think you're really killing it because you can hear yourself. It sucks, man. Play quiet. If you need to get loud for a second, then you can get loud. Oops, that sucked. But if you're at this all the time, how are you going to get any louder? You suck. If you do that, you don't suck. It's just, stop doing that. Okay, so that's my my soapbox lesson on how to get big bluegrass tones. And I welcome any comments or rebuttals. So thanks a lot. Have a great day. Bye.